Hello, this is Dale Calvert. Today is September the 11th. I'd like to welcome you to this week's MLM Minute. Of course, September 11th will always have deep meaning in the hearts of people that live in the United States. I know we have people all over the world who also remember that day. Probably every single one of you can remember the place, the time, the day when you heard about the terrorist attack on the Twin Towers. I know I'll certainly never forget that day, and none of us will. And as I was thinking about that, as I was preparing this week's MLM Minute, I would describe that time as a jarring time for the country. You know, we all started to think about our freedom, our longevity on this earth. Church attendance increased tremendously after the September 11th attacks, and I think the whole country, as human beings, we were just kind of stopped, and we had to think. You know, we were jarred into stopping and really thinking, because day to day we just kind of live out of habit. You know, we're going through the routines, and very seldom do we stop and think. And I can remember years ago Jim Rohn saying, stop and think about your day and plan your next day, and stop at the end of each week and think about what's been accomplished that week and plan for the next week, and at the end of each month and at the end of each year, and take some time and think and plan and make sure that you're on track, really in all areas of your life. And I guess that's what I would want to share with you this week. Is I see so many people that are being productive and going through the motions, but they don't really stop and think about, where do I want to be in 5 years? What is it going to look like when I'm finished? What's it going to look like when I'm done? You know, when I reach the top position in my company, you know, what do I want my organization to look like? Do I want it to be just a very unified, well-run, duplicating machine? Do I want a lot of high-performance people kind of doing their own thing? What do I want my lifestyle to be like? And you have to learn how to buffer yourself. You know, if right now, if you're the one that everybody is calling, and if you're developing more a group of followers than you are leaders, then you're going to have trouble down the road 5, 10 years from now, or 3 years from now, when you get to where you're ultimately going.